So Andrew Estep will join us now, Mountmaker from the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, with a talk on Sagrado Overdoor.
Hi, my name is Andy Estep, and I'm an assistant conservation preparator at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I will be presenting today about a mount I made for the Sagrado Overdoor. The Sagrado Overdoor is an 18th century carving made of gilt wood, and it was quite damaged and has been repaired many times. We are not even sure of the original use. The curator and the conservator both think that it may have been used as the top of a frame for a painting or a mirror, and it was later repurposed as a carving fit over a doorway in the Sagrado Palazzo in Venice. The Met actually has a period room from the Palazzo Sagrado, a bedroom antechamber. There's another family crest right there over the bed alcove, like that on the Overdoor, and it carries the same 3 sheaves of wheat on a red band. When the piece first came to me, my first issue was to find a way to hold it safely so I could build the mount and work on it from all sides. I found that it could fit on a garment rack, and I made a kind of a spider web to keep it in place so I could work on it, or so it was attached in multiple points to hold the parts up, because the old repairs were really becoming loose and the whole piece was very flimsy, kind of floppy. The piece had broken and been repaired many times over the years so that the old repairs had loosened. Besides being very large, the whole piece was very floppy. The whole carving is just under 5 feet wide, and the top edge tilts away from the wall. So that part with the horse and the crown, that actually, when it's mounted properly on the wall, it tilts over the viewer, so it kind of seems bigger than it is. But that means that the back is really hard to get it to hang flat on the wall. So it projects out about 10 inches from the wall. A heavy section of the carving on the right is cantilevered from the main body. Also, the curator wanted to show the Overdoor so it would fit properly on the wall. And they wanted it to fit over the entrance to that period room, and the public would be able to walk under it. A mount that created an external skeleton-like structure that fit behind the carving would be the only way to allow this piece to be shown, because it is so damaged. So, designing an external skeleton to support the weight. The heavy carving is on the far side of that right arm, so I had to make a plate that would fit across the back that would reach all the way to the far side and support the heavy mass away above from tilting on the lacy part in the middle. Although the lace-like carving was very thin, there were always at least 3 arms that could be followed. So I traced the back of the carving in paper and made places for setbacks to go around the many old repair plates, and I laid this all out on an 1/8-inch brass sheet. And the way to attach it that I decided was the best was to use the plate as the mechanical attachment point for the arms that will go around the carving of the piece. Every arm attaches with 2 screws to the back plate, and each hole is tapped into the back plate, and each screw has at least 3 threads into the plate material. In this slide, you can see how the back plate follows the contour of the carving, and it accommodates the old repairs. Like right here. This is a repair plate, so it sticks out from the old, it's not working. It sticks out from the main flat part of the carving. I sanded down the edges so they wouldn't be visible from the front, and I also painted and felted the assembly. Here's another slide that shows the whole right side in the mount a bit better. Let's see. The back plate does the job of taking the weight from that heavy arm right here and brings it all the way across to the body of the carving. Sorry. One of the bigger issues with this was the main body of the carving, and there's a lot to work around here. This wooden post was original to the piece, and this metal bracket was added sometime in the early 20th century, we think when it was converted to the overdoor. The curator wanted to keep this plate, but they said that I could use the screw holes, so that's also used as an attachment point for the right side plate. And then the left side plate is smaller. The repairs on this side were not loose, and I didn't need to support that side as much. But you can see every attachment point has at least two screws to hold it together. And I had to add two hang points because this iron piece is the original hang point, and it's really off-center, so it couldn't hang its properly. It would tilt to the side. So adding two hang points, I could adjust it left to right. Let's see. I added one strap over the top of the post, and then this is another strap that goes underneath where the frame would have originally sat. Once I had this up against the wall, I found that the combination of this wood post and the added metal post meant that it couldn't sit flat on the wall. So I had to add this I modified this strap to an outrigger. So this part comes in contact with the wall, as does the wood post and the 20th century edition. So the whole piece can fit flat on the wall, and it doesn't fit askew. You can see a few of the places where the attachment arms come around the front, and at the Met we follow the idea of painting the mount out. I tried to keep the arms in creases so they weren't as visible, but like here, sometimes that's just not possible. So here's the finished mount. There's the outrigger, these two posts that allow it to sit flat on the wall. I added these struts up to this standoff. There's the new hang point. There's the other new hang point. The standoff allows the piece to sit so it's tilted at the proper angle. So you can see how far out the weak arm sits from the center of the mass. the sled's cut off, but the carving stops about here. And there it is, installed, hanging flat the way it's supposed to, kind of arching over the visitors as they enter the period room.
Thank you, Andy. I have a virtual question in the back. What is the weight and dimensions of the object?
The weight is about 40 pounds. We won't make mounts for objects that weigh more than that out of brass at the Met. That's kind of the capacity of the brass that we've agreed on. The size, it's just under 5 feet wide and just under 3 feet tall.
Is the piece suspended on a wire?
Yeah, it's suspended. There's a gallery rail, and there's a wire here and here. The offset is right behind this crown, and the offset keeps the whole carving from tilting back into the wall. The center point the hang point, the mass of the piece is under the center line of the height. So when you hang it on the wall without this standoff, it rocks back. Like it doesn't sit the way that it's supposed to, which is, if it was attached to the frame like it originally was, or if it was attached to a door frame, it would be attached here. This is a secondary attachment point, but that would keep it aligned properly and not tilting forward or tilting back. Without the offset, it really tilts back about 10 inches.
It appeared as if there were a single wire that it was hanging on. Here we see two.
It's two wires.
Oh, it's two.
It's just the lighting. The other wire's right here. Maybe you can see it up here better.
Right.
But yeah, there's two to be kind of puppet it around and keep it angled.
So there's what's the attachment of the wire to the armature?
The attachment to the armature?
Yeah, like you mentioned, is that adjustable?
This outrigger here, or a standoff?
Right.
Standoff. It sticks from here to here. It sticks out 10 inches to hold it in the proper orientation.
Right.
So the wire goes up, attaches here, and then goes further up to the wall.
And there's some means of adjustment at that attachment point, if you mentioned sort of puppeting it.
Yes. You, like you would with a painting.
Okay, thank you.
We have another virtual question, Andy. When art is installed over a doorway that the public uses, are there any additional safety issues involved?
It's just to me, it's always a concern. I would worry more about something that's hung over people walking through. I don't know. I don't know if there's no policy, but.
But a mount has to be more robust because it's over a doorway?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I have a question about the old repairs. How old are the old repairs?
I don't know. I asked the conservator, and she said that they were dating back to the 18th century. So in some cases, they're quite old. She also added some new ones, so some of the repairs are fiberglass and new, but it's extremely floppy. Like when we picked it up to hold it into the garment rack, it really moved quite a bit.
Thank you.
Sure.
It's really impressive. I wonder how long it took to make, and also if it's on permanent display.
It is on permanent display, and it took me about 2.5 weeks. Thank you.